I'm up in Oldham. Just did a stream before and then deleted it by accident. Don't know I did that. Just outside the Tommyfield. And I happened to walk past here and just noticed. Who's ever noticed this before? And I think there's some more over there, but I'm going to read these ones. So this is Albion Street Public Artworks, partly financed by the European Regional Development Fund. But look at this. All these tiles here are either people that have given money to the flooring, I imagine, or I don't know, but you've got Hollingwood Welding and Engineering, established in 1925, and it says cast iron pavement tiles celebrating some of Oldham's most established manufacturers, graphics by Tim Rushton, casting by Premier Castings. Yeah, so it's actually showcasing the oldest firms. Boiler Thompson Repairs, Failsworth Arts, that's near where I used to work in Ivy Mill. George Hill, friend of mine who I used to see at the gym. She's got George Hill's now. Willoughby's, they look like a brewer's, aren't they? 1850. And then you've got S&J Whitehead Restoration. There's all sorts to look at here in Oldham, you know. There's some more grids over here, but I think they're just standard grids. So as I said in my other go live a few minutes ago, I actually came up to do some research because sorry if it's shaky as well, I'm on my phone. Yeah, I came up to do some research because I thought I'll find something to do a video about, and you know what's just dawned on me? There really isn't that much of the old Oldham left in the town centre, really. I was just at the arcades. I'm gonna do a video on the arcades coming up. I had that sort of on the back burner for a while, but I've just got a bit of information off that just to help with my research, so I'll be doing that soon. But like, it's coming up to this street here now. Is it Walshaw Street this? Not Walshaw. Why can I never get it right? For some reason it always goes out of my head. I'll remember in a minute. Anyway, this street's quite interesting because you've still got all the original shops, and I did a go live on these shops a while ago. And they call them show shops apparently, I've been told. And they you're like cobblers and bakers, and these little effigies above the doors here that show what they were. So this is the old Oldham, and then that's a beauty of a building, isn't it, that one? Look at that one. I reckon that was an old pub or something. What do you reckon? And then you've got the Snipe. That's a lovely pub. And then up at the top you've got the Tommyfield. I'm not going to go up there, but you've got the Tommyfield, which is open for business. This is where the old Army Navy used to be, do you remember? And then they knocked it down in '99 and rebuilt that. I don't know what that is actually at the moment. And then there's the old C&A. Oh, by the way, update on the cough situation. Doctors put me on some antibiotics, but she's all, hope Oldham can improve after the lockdown. What a poor. I know. It's just, you know, I wanted to look around here the other day, so I'm going to go down. If I get attacked, send the police for me. What was I going to say? I forgot what I was going to say now. I'm sure it'll come back to me. So yeah, it's just the backs of the shops. I'm always frightened to see rats round somewhere like here, mate. You know, you never know. Look at them old gates there. God, this frigging wind. gates. You know, I keep meaning to go in that Whittles, because a friend of mine, he goes in a big group of fellas, and he said it's a brilliant night. In fact, he's invited me up a couple of times, and I've never gone, but that was before lockdown. But you know what? I think I'd rip his arm off now to go. I was saying that's a pub there at Coyne. Look at it, it's beautiful. Look at the windows, and then look at the one on the side there. And you know what the shame is? That middle one there, you know what the shame is? That'll have been beautiful stained glass window at one point, that I reckon. Oh, God, look, it's the pigeons, frig off. Come at me then, bleeders. Yeah, so this is the old C&A. The old, I remember when it was Guat shops back in the 80s. You could get cheap. That was like the Primark of the 80s. And then this building has been here since forever. The black and white one, Tudor looking one. Actually, that's quite interesting. Just waiting for this fella to go past. I don't know if you can pick it up. I'm going to come and do a video. I don't know if you can pick it up on this camera, but can you see the wooden like lions? And they're like lions with what's the majig? Wings. Oh, I can't think today, mate. And then we're coming round. So, do you see where all these shops here are? That was built when Spindles was built, actually, so forget that for a second. See where the older part of the shopping centre is? Back in 1960, they knocked down a church called St Peter's. Now, that building of St Peter's that was there at the time was 100, coming up to about 60 years. So it wasn't that old. There was a St Peter's before that. Point being, there was a St Peter's church on that site for about 350 years. And it was the side of the... You don't like that swing? And there was it was the side of the St Mary's, and it was said that they built it to basically so the poor could go to church and they wouldn't be going about with the the more influential people over at St Mary's. But anyway, the point is this: they decided that they were going to knock down St Peter's, and it was this whole area here, and they knocked it down, and it happened to be a graveyard as well. St Peter's, there was a lot of people buried there, and they dug up the bodies. They took them and reinterred them in places like Grenakers, Hollingwood, etc. And the rest of them that they couldn't match up, they took them to the tip and tipped them. They tipped the people's bodies. And the other thing is as well, the bodies that they dug up, apparently jewellery was taken off them. My grandmother bought some apparently in the pubs back in Oldham. That was the rumour. I don't know if she did. She's not here anymore. I can't ask her, and I probably wouldn't ask her anyway. But yeah, there was a lot of jewellery going around that they'd taken off the dead. And I was just showing you that there because that's the old boot sign. Look, they've taken it down. Yeah, I don't know. I've ended up doing a live, but I just fancied doing something, and I really don't think I'll come and do a video of the town because there's not really that much to... I'm going to do the arcade obviously, but not much else to do. And you see where the McDonald's is? The McDonald's was the... Excuse me 1 second. Yeah, McDonald's was the original site of the first ever Yates's Wine Lodge. That was the first one ever that's now a chain. And interestingly enough, Manchester's got a Yates's Wine Lodge, but Oldham hasn't anymore. It's another interesting fact. And I'm not too sure what that... Well, maybe it was for Yates's, I don't know. And I'll tell you another interesting fact as well. Full of them today, Rihanna. Do you see this building on the corner here? It's It's Parliament Cafe now, or Parliament Cafe coffee shop, and then there's a gym above it, which is closed at the moment. I think, I don't know. Maybe it's open now. I can't keep up with what's going on. Things locking up and everything. But anyway, it used to be a hotel that many moons ago. In fact, I've got some pictures of it in. I've got some pictures of it in my house. I'll try and find some, and I'll probably do a video on that as well, because these are very old. These lots and lots and lots of issues to shout about with these ones. And we're now just making our way down to the Greaves and the town hall. That's what we're saying. I went to the doctor and she's diagnosed me with a chest infection, and she also said I could probably benefit from having an inhaler. So I've started on this inhaler and these antibiotics, and I feel 100 times better. But I think moving forward, I'm probably going to see if I can keep that inhaler, because to be perfectly honest, I feel a lot better. And although I'm coughing, it's a productive cough now rather than a dry hacking one, if you know what I mean. Yeah, so this is the old hotel here. And around the side where I'll just cross over here. In the photograph that I'll put it up when I do the video, but anyway, in the photograph round the side here, it was all just cobbled streets, and then there was more houses, because this is Clegg Street now, and there were just back-to-back houses. Not back-to-back houses, there were just lines of houses. In fact, the old Clegg Street's obviously still there at the bottom. But yeah, this was an hotel. And I wanted to see if I could get some information off this Barclays. What the frig's that? Have you seen that? Looks like a giant iPhone. It is a giant. It looks like a giant iPhone, doesn't it? Well, that's going to last 2 minutes, isn't it? That'll end up getting punched in on a Saturday night. Oh, that's what I needed to do as well. I did a video a while back, 6, 7, 8 months, and it was on a lost soldier from World War I. His name was Harry Cross. It's on the channel if you want to have a look at the video. And basically, he would have been a long lost soldier. No one would have remembered him, but my stepfather ended up finding some letters and all sorts of stuff that his mother had saved. Anyway, she got cleared out in the slum clearances, and he found this stuff in this empty house, and he's kept it, all these years. And I did a video on him, but I just wanted to check. He should be on here. This is the First World War, I believe. And then the bottom is anyway, let's have a look. So we're looking for Cross. Harry, there he is. Harry Cross, pub leader. Well, at least he's remembered on there. And there's always the video. God, sorry about that. And what's this here? All these dedicated to Royal Navies. Tyrone Street's the last of the residential streets in the town centre. Oh, it's disappeared, I'm sorry. Yeah, I knew a girl called Vicky who lived on Tyrone Street, and Mum probably still lives there. Dedicated to the men and women of the armed forces who lost their lives in Palestine, Malaya, Korea, Cyprus, Suez, Oman, the Falklands, Bosnia, Kosovo, basically every war that we've been involved in the last 100 years, I would imagine. Living on it, there's a good part of the town with a few nice old buildings. Yeah, it is a beautiful street with Tyro. Oh, look at that. in memory of those who lost their lives on the beaches of Normandy, June 6th, 1944, and the liberation of Europe. Oh. So, trying to think, right, yeah, so I want to go and look at the bank because I want to see if I can get some info off it. I want to try and find out who built that, which architect's firm, and I did a video on the War Memorial. Did you know that the person who did the War Memorial, or the firm that was from an office just down there on Yorkshire Street, called Simister and Taylor, I think they were called, they also did the extension on the back of the town hall. They also built the Grand Theatre, which is the old Butterflies building. What else did they do? They did the Co-op building at the bottom of Ripondon Road. That's back of Church Street. Yeah, they did the Co-op building down the back of Ripondon Road. What else did they do? Oh, Cheddarton. They did Cheddarton Town Hall and the War Memorial down there. Albert Toft was the sculptor that came up and did it. He did monuments up and down the country. But yeah, I just wanted to see if I can find any info at all. Beautiful, this building. The one that I filmed a few days ago down at Mumps is grander. But the good thing is at least this one's still being used as a bank. Let's have a look at this doorway. Wow. Good afternoon. Was in Court Building today buying some... Oh, were you really? I didn't think it was still open. You mean the one at bottom of Ripondon Road? You're in that one? There's no information on this bleeding building, is there? Look. I reckon there was... mind you, that might have been the bank name. All right, I didn't even... You know what? I had no clue that there were any shops in there, really. I thought, well, I know the upstairs is shut, isn't it? Because of all the pigeons and that have come in. There's nothing. Hiya, Sam, love. There's nothing on here. Nothing. You know what? You know what I'd like to do? I'd like to go... I'm going to walk back to my car. I'd like to go for a pint. That's what I want to do. I want to go to a pub and have a pint. You know what? I might even call into... Oh, that's what I was going to tell you. Right, so... I'm going to wait, actually, because, you know, my cousin Leanne, her and her boyfriend Rory have got the farmers on... Huddersfield Road. I did that video from there. You know, we were downstairs and we were frightened to death because that ghost was about. If you haven't seen the video, go and watch it now because, well, when I finished, because honestly, it is absolutely hilarious, but in a scary way, if you know what I mean. What was I talking about then? Oh yeah. Anyway. What I'm going to do, I think they're opening on the... right, whatever day we reopen, it's the Friday that they're not going to open on the day that the pubs can reopen. They're going to open a couple of days after, on the Friday. So I think me and my auntie are definitely going to reserve a table. In fact, I've already reserved it, said to Albion. Make sure we've got a table, we'll be there. I think they're going to be having, in fact I don't think I know, they're going to be having some live music on and then DJ. They're working very hard and obviously making sure that they... I want to go and look around the church but there's no time, it's getting cold. Yeah, they're making sure that they've got everything sorted. Should we have a quick look at market and just see what it's like now? If I can get in down here. Yeah. Yeah, so they're working hard on getting everything sorted. And yeah, I'm going to be there. I'm going to go for a few drinks. So if you're passing, pop in, have a pint and say hello. Who remembers when these... One sec. Who remembers? Friday the 18th, yeah, that's it. Hiya, Dave, love. These frigging messages keep disappearing. I'm halfway through reading them and they just fade away. See all these here, these are all original to market from like a few years back, didn't they? Didn't the Dobby horse went it around here or something? Is there anywhere where the old swimming pool was? I've just been over there, Lee, and I'll go back over now and show you. There's a car park there. Because that's what happens. Look at that, look at the market, it's ruined. It's absolutely ruined, isn't it? Do you remember when it was all... Right, you know what, this is what I don't get. You've got Ashton Town Centre, right? I can guarantee you if you go in Ashton Town Centre tomorrow, it's booming. Tuesday, flea market, like it used to be. But whatever, they've got a really good market there. That's hammered. The indoor market's hammered. I'm gonna go over to Bassfield, love, and show you. Indoor market's hammered. All the shops on the high street are all full, and there's people up and down all day long. That market is full. And you know what the shame is? Tommyfield Market was a very famous market. People would travel, you know, to go on, and they just ruined it. I just don't get it, to put a car park on. I mean, there's no point now in a car park if you've got nothing that's going to pull people in, have you? You know, I don't usually get on my high horse, but I must have one on me today or something. That's the old swimming baths there. I just need to get up to the end of this fence here, and I'll go across and show you. There's a pile of that are left. In fact, at the bottom end, I'm pretty sure they've dumped a load of the old bricks for the building, so we'll have a walk down. I'm not doing anything else. Thinking about a nice cold lager now, though. You know, nice cold juicy lager. You know what, I've put stones on since this lockdown. Honest to God, I looked at mirror before and I just thought, oof, you know, you've got a job on, love, getting about that weight. But I think what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to get back on my keto, because you know that keto diet, once your body adapts to that, it takes about a week. Honestly, it's brilliant. Right, so this is my point. What's the point in having a car park when no one wants to come in the town? They don't come in the town because there's nothing to see. And it's not like you need parking for... Sorry. It's not that you need parking for the... for swimming pool, right, is it? Because there isn't one here anymore. It's right down the other end of Oldham. Do you think this is COVID here? COVID tents. Yeah, sorry, this is a bit boring, isn't it? But I said to Leon I'll show him, so this is where it was, obviously, you know that. Hang on, let's think about it now. Diving was about there, weren't it? Because you looked out over there, and then you had the big pool, and then the baby, you know that baby pool when I was a kid. I went up with my friend Angela. I used to live on Shaw Road. Me and Angie went I think Elaine come with us as well, Elaine Connor. Anyway, we came up to go swimming pool, and I was too scared to go at big pool because I couldn't swim, so they ended up going in there, and I stayed in the little pool and nearly got myself drowned. All I can remember with this fella, I was basically underwater trying to breathe, drowning, and this fella just grabbed hold at the back of my costume, and I just remember being hoisted out. I was only about 6 or something, 7. So I nearly died in Oldham swimming baths. Fond memories. Right, so this is what I wanted to show you. I think this is the rubble that they've taken, you know, from the and they've just dumped it down here to build up the banking. Remember getting told off by a lifeguard? Yeah, I was always getting bollocked me in there. Regular. Bollocked on the regular. Stop running. Remember those posters? No canoodling. No dive bombing. You know what? Should we go for a walk through St Mary's? I'm in mood for a walk round. If you're in mood for watching, I'll keep going, because I'm not doing anything else. Anyway, Leon, look, this is it. So that brick down there is the old sports centre, and that brick there. And this is it now. It's a beautiful. Come on, let's go round St Mary's, and I'll tell you the story of St Mary's while we're going round. Now I've got to walk all the way back up to get out. That's all. So yeah, I'll tell you the story of St Mary's. I'm going to do a full video on it. I've got loads of pictures, loads of footage, loads of everything. So it'll make a really good video, but I'll give you the background because it's common knowledge. In fact, there's a couple of documentaries about it on YouTube, but I'm going to do my own. Basically, what happened were, in the early 1960s, this fella came up, this architect, came up from down south, and he said basically he came up, and the government had sent him up here. I think someone had asked him to come up anyway. He specialised in building modern estates, and came up from down south, and his words were, "I was heartbroken when I realised the hovels that people were expected to live in." Now, the houses that used to be on St Mary's at that time were back-to-back tourist houses, and there were streets of them lined, and people were a proper community on there. They didn't have indoor toilets, and a few of you will be familiar with outdoor toilets. You know, my house is a tourist house, an end terrace, and I've got an old bog in the back. I've took it out now to put the toilet's out, but the rest of it's still there, sink and that. And I only took the toilet out because, well, I never used it. You know, it was just there, and I've got my washing machine in there now, so that drains out through bog like. So that's what that's all about. Anyway, that's luxury compared to what the people on St Mary's had. They had what were called tipper toilets. So they didn't have water. I don't think they had water. What would happen is it'd be a ledge, and you'd go and do your business on there, and then eventually I imagine it'd get so full it'd tip over and empty. Can you imagine the smell? And they used to say you're always lucky if you got in there first thing in the morning before everyone started going in. And typically, my auntie told me this when we did the mumps video. Typically, what you'd have is about 6 houses that would use one bog. So that's how it worked. That were the conditions. But people were happy in them houses, and you know, they had them like this woman and this documentary that's on YouTube. You can go look for it. I think it's called An End of a Street. And then there's another one, I can't remember what it's called. I'll try and put something on, later I'll put a note on or something. I'll remember it, or I might remember it while I'm walking around. But basically, anyway, I'm waffling. This fella starts saying it's horrible and we need to do this and we need to do that. So they've basically what they did, they put compulsory purchases on everyone's houses, and they ousted everyone and said, right, what we'll do, we'll come round, we'll not give you a knock, and then you need to be out for it next day, and that's how it were. And they said, well, what if I won't move out? Well, we'll knock the house around you then, but it's coming down either way. That's how it were back then. You know, now people will kick a stink off and they probably not end up doing it, but back then, even back then, Oldham Council, you know, they just did what they wanted. Now, to be fair, it's not to say, I'm not calling them. I'm just saying, folk didn't want to leave. But the ones that did leave said that what they were given afterwards, I don't know if you remember the flats that built up on the bottom end of St Mary's down there. There were a couple of people who'd moved into them that said, you know, they were great and a lot different inside bathrooms, toilets, etc. You know, so a lot of people liked them, but they didn't like the idea of moving out. The interesting thing is, these houses here that you can see, these are all replacing those houses. So those flats and those houses that they built, I mean, the houses are still here. All these are the houses from when they built them up, weren't it? Just the flats they knocked down. And now they've replaced the flats. They don't last. I mean, those houses were there for near on 160 years. I'm going to cough again. So we're coming up to Radcliffe Street. Looks like someone's been throwing mud at that side. Oh God. I am better with this cough though, you know. It is much better. God, can you see that hill over there? It's absolutely glorious today. And just over there you can just see the top of Bluecoat School and then the Catholic church behind it. Yeah, so that's long and short of it. That was basically the story of them, and they ripped these communities apart and then rebuilt these houses and then moved different people on, or maybe some people moved back, I don't know. If you're about then and you can remember it, let me know what you know what, if you've been putting notes, and I'm so sorry I've not even been looking at the screen, I'm too busy looking at where I'm going. Did anyone remember what pub that were? Or did it say Centurion outside of it? Is it the Centurion that? Let's have a walk up here. I'll go up to Drill Hall. I'll show you Drill Hall. The Drill Hall, it was used for the armies. Used for the army and, like, you know, what they call them? Those fellas who just do it on weekends and that. Territorial, yeah. But back in World War One, the building was used for all the army to mobilise. The Manchester Regiment mobilised from there, and then they were sent off. Harry Cross, who we were just talking about down at Oldham Church, he would have gone from there. Right, this is something else I was going to tell you as well while we're walking up. I've decided, I'm not doing it just yet, because I've got to get up to 50 quid, but I'm going to turn the adverts off the channel, and I'll tell you why I'm going to turn them off. One, I think it just makes it... Oh yeah, what's this? Knights of the Future find the path themselves with... I can't even read it, that sun's burning my eyeballs. Yeah, I'm going to turn the adverts off. One, because I think it just makes the viewing experience really crap, because every 5 minutes you've got an advert coming on. And the reason why I put them on was because I could. Because I got to over 1,000 subscribers, and I thought, right, brilliant, well, you know what, if I can make a few quid, you know, out of the videos, I can buy... I mean, yesterday I went out and spent... That gimbal were 150 quid, but I did it because I wanted to treat myself to something. I like going out doing my videos, and it was for me, but it was also for you as well. Do you know what I mean? Because I want to make nice videos that people like, and that, you know, shows the, you know, look good. You know what I mean? And the idea where I thought, I'll have the adverts on, and if I can make a few quid, I can put that towards equipment, and that's it. Now, the adverts have been on for 6 weeks, I think, now. I'll tell you how much I've earned. 20, well, it keeps going up and down. This is the other thing as well. When I looked before, it was 31 quid. Right, now it's 31 quid for doing nothing, I get that, and I'm not ungrateful for it. But you have to get to 50 before you can draw it out. So I'm going to have to keep it on until I get to 50, because otherwise it's just dead money. I may as well get the money, hadn't I? And it could go towards my gimbal costs, I suppose. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn the adverts off, because I'm not bothered for 30 quid over 6 weeks. I'd rather just not have them on, because there's really no point. And the other thing, Google keep messing about with the amount. Not Google. YouTube changed the amount, because I don't understand why they have to do it, but apparently it's something to do with not real views or something. I just don't get it, and everything's very confusing for me, and I just think, I didn't start my channel to start getting confused about stuff. I just did it to make videos. So this is what I'm going to do. I'll get to the point now. Jesus Christ. I'm gonna take the adverts off once I get to 50 quid, because I can get my check then. The adverts are gone, so they're only going to be on for a few more weeks. But I am going to create a PayPal link, and I'm going to be putting it on every single video. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get up to the withdrawal amount, but I'm going to put the link on every single video, and if anyone wants to contribute a penny or 5p or whatever, then I'll be more than grateful for it, because obviously I can put the money back into the channel. This is the drill hole. I'll show you right back. And if no one wants to put any money in, I'm not asked. Don't matter. You know, it is what it is. I'm still going to make the videos anyway. It's just if you wanted to help me out towards equipment costs, fuel and all that, that's fine. But if you don't want to, that's fine as well. I'm really not bothered. But I'm definitely not leaving them adverts. It's just a waste of time. You know, if I was a big massive YouTuber, you know, then you'd be worth it, wouldn't it? Because you'd have the views. But I just don't see the point in, you know, putting them on all my videos, and people come to watch them to enjoy them, not to sit and watch. You know what I'm saying, right? I'm going to shut up about it now anyway. But listen, the drill hole, like I say, it's where all the fellas were mobilised from in World War I, and it was also used by the army and the territorial and all that up to a few years ago. But then it suffered a fire, and this is what we're left with. But it's literally, I mean, it won't be long before we're knocking this one down now. But Jesus, have you seen that wind? Yeah, it won't be long until they're knocking it down. I think that gate's open there. Let's go and have a look. Well, we can if we can get in. Oh, they frigging locked it. Who's locked it? Oh, it's not always open. Look at this. Oh, let's have a look inside here. Yeah, look at this. Wow. Get in there. Look at that door. It literally just opens up at the back there. And someone's been and dumped. Can you see there? They've just dumped a big load of stuff. Oh, get away. Tell you what though, how nice is that gate? Wonder what they'll do with all this ironwork. Because they will knock it down soon. That room would have looked... I know, Leon. Look at these old slabs as well. I can't remember what... I did know what... Because I've done a video on this. And I did do all history on it. It's 1800s anyway when they built this. And, my mum told me, in the 70s, you know, when there were all the power strikes going on and that, you know, the miners were striking and stuff, and there weren't enough electricity and gas and everything else. What they used to do is, the local community used to have power to here somehow. Simon, you know what? I was just saying before, I've been to doctors. I've got a chest infection. So she's given me amoxicillin, so I'm about halfway through the course. And I'm also on, an inhaler. And then she wants me to go back and just go on this machine and have my lungs tested. So yeah, everything's in hand. But yeah, it is. It's an infection that I've had, and you know, I've always been susceptible anyway. But what was I going to say? Oh, thanks. Yeah, no. So anyway, my mum was saying, because she lived here on Doncaster Walk, my mum, as a kid, and basically when all the power got turned off to the estate, they used to put brews on in here and sandwiches and TV, radio, and everyone used to go up to the drill hall and sit it out until the electric come back on. So that's interesting. And this building here, it's all boxed in now, but it's an interesting looking thing. It's the old power station. So that provides all the power to all the houses on the estate. There's my car. Hopefully I've not got a good old ticket on it. Shouldn't have, because it's after 6 or whatever. And well, I'll tell you one more tale, and then I'm going to call it a day. Years ago, there was an article in the Oldham Chronicle, and it was this family that lived on this road here. I can't remember what the road's called. I'll show you where the house were. It's been knocked down now, the house, but they had this old house and it was on the corner. And what were happening, the kids used to wake up screaming in the middle of the night, saying someone was in the bedroom. There was a ghost in the bedroom, and father used to come in and say, "Oh, Bluewell, shut up, there's no going on, get to sleep," messing about all like school in morning. Anyway, this went on for ages, and the kids would be screaming like, and sometimes they wouldn't get up in the middle of the night to go for a pee. They'd just wait until the morning. They were terrified, absolutely terrified. Anyhow, the house stood, I think it stood about either here or there where them flats, them houses are, where they were built. Anyway, one night, the father, he'd been upstairs, having a bath or something like that, and he set off walking down the stairs, and he looked ahead in front of him, and he says, "I couldn't believe it." He said there was a figure on the stairs. It was black, thick, tall, and I can't show you, but like like them old staircases that were like concealed. So you had like a door at the bottom, and then you went up, didn't you? And on either side, you just had the landing at the top. You didn't have any windows around. The ghost was stood in the middle of the stairs with its arms on either side of the wall, stopping him from going past. He said he absolutely frightened to death, absolutely frightened to death. And what the kids were saying all that time was right, that this ghost had been visiting them. So, but yeah, that's where the house was. It was in Oldham Chronicle. And that's the new museum pub. Did you know, straight across the road here, years ago, there was the old museum pub. It was called the Museum. You all right? It was called the Museum. And yeah, and then when that got knocked down, that's when that one got a slice of... Yeah, you know what I'm going to do? I've got in my house... I don't know why that fella just stood there. I think we're waiting for a taxi or something. Yeah, I've got in my house, bought it a couple of weeks ago. It's not tequila. It's something similar. It's got a worm in the bottom of it, but it doesn't taste like tequila. It's got a funny taste to it. So I'm going to get a couple of shots of that when I get in, for medicinal purposes, of course. No, it really is for medicinal, because it warms your chest, and I've got some lemons from Asda before I nipped in. So I want to go. Should we go and look at the brewery? Frigate, should we? Come on, I'm not doing out else. People are still on. What are we up to now? 26. Right, I'll go and do the brewery. Yeah, so anyone that weren't listening before, I've decided in a few weeks I'm going to turn the adverts off on. I know there's adverts on at the moment, but they're not going to be on forever. I'm going to turn them off. One, it's not earning, it's annoying. It's annoying to people watching the channel, and it really doesn't earn me that much money. I was just saying, they've been on for 6 weeks now. It's got up to 31 quid. And then I can look on tomorrow and then they'll put it down to 29. It's just, I just don't get it. Anyway, this is the old... Yeah, so I'm just going to turn them off. So just bear with me though, because I've got to get to 50 quid before I can cash out. And then as soon as I've cashed out, I'm going to turn them off. I hope they don't penalise me now and just not let me get there. I'm sure they won't. You see those houses there? They just... Hang on. Yeah, them buses are still there. Oh, sorry, I'm going to the screen now because it's not fair. I'm not reading the messages because I'm too busy gabbing and looking at stuff. I'm sorry. Yeah, the buses are still here. I'll walk down and show you. There's also ghosts in here, you know. This is on. I don't think it's this old part. I think it's that old part there. That was part of the brewery as well, weren't it? Oh look, have they moved the buses? They have. Gone. Yeah, they've moved them, look. Oh, wonder where they've gone. Look at that. The back end at truck's there, front end's over there. Cut and shut. Yeah, so this is the old Oldham brewery. Seeing the old tiles there in the walls. It says Fleas Pit over there on the door. FLIS Pit. Fleas Pit. Flies Pit. Fleas Pit. Look at the old tiles there. Yeah, they've gone them buzzes, look. Every one of them. Looks like they've been stacking up fridges over there. You've got cash and carry at the back now. And it's sad that the brewery's gone now after all these years. What was it, 1988 was it, when they stopped? I mean, they were bought out by Boddington's first, weren't they? This building up here, I don't know if you can see that, but it's got 1914 on the side of it. I think this might be, I don't know for definite, but I'm pretty sure this was probably the offices. See if we can see any telltale marks on it. God, my arm's aching. Oh yeah, look at that. Oh, thanks, Fergus. Yeah, it is a beautiful building. Right, it is Oldham Brewery. Look. OB in the glass. Can you see? It's etched into the glass. So this must have been the management offices, you know, where they did all the accounts from, and this was the old side of the working factory, weren't it? Outbuilding here doing something, I don't know what. Oh, look at these windows. Look at them. Hey, I'll give you a bit of an update and all. Let's walk back up now. I'm trying to get into Oldham Church. I want to do a video in Oldham Church now. I've been ringing, and I can't get anyone to return my call. I've left umpteen messages. I've also tried to send a message through Facebook, but that just says not received. So I never had that on Facebook before, ever. But for some reason, there's a cooker there. Oh, and one of them old-fashioned ones. I'd love one of them. In fact, you don't know, because I've got one in my new house. Yeah, I've been ringing, and I can't get anyone to answer the phone. I do have it on good authority, though, that I don't think the vicar's working at the moment. I think he's taking a bit of time out. So I don't know if, you know, I don't know what the situation is. But I do know this, I want to do a video of Oldham Church. So if anyone knows anyone who has, you know, has connections with church, who can put me in direct, right line for whoever I need to speak to, I'd appreciate it. Failing that, I'm going to fly up on Wednesday morning and see if I can get hold of someone then. But I think Oldham Church would make an amazing video. Can you imagine? So I mean, there's so much to shout about there. You've got the crypt, obviously the church itself, all the back corridors of the church. You've got the bell tower, and you've got the top. So I'm going to try and get it. Oh, look at them starlings. Don't they do them crypt tours any? Yeah, they do. I've done the crypt tours a few times. I've got a video actually on my channel of what I did. I did it on my iPad though, so it's not that great. But I've got this gimbal now, So if I go in, I'll be able to get the most amazing, pictures, and it'll all be smooth and just be great. So what we're thinking were, if I can swing it, we can start with looking around the church itself. There's loads to shout about, and that loads of history in that church, on the walls, plaques, all sorts of stuff. I could probably I probably want to go up there beforehand and just have a quick sneak peek, do my research, and then, rather than doing it blind. And then years ago, when I was a kid, I've been up to the top, and you walk up and up and up and up and up, and then eventually you come to the room where the bells are, where all the poles are, where they flash the bells. And then right to the very top, get some views of over Oldham from the very top, and then, like I said, down into that crypt. Now that crypt, loads of interesting stuff to get over me. Thank you. There's loads of interesting stuff in that crypt to look at, and there's some interesting people in there. The Giant of Oldham, Joseph Scholes, he's buried in there. He was 35 stone or 37 stone, and he was about 6'7", I think. He was massive. He used to be the master of the workhouses, and Dave, who watches the channel, it's his ancestor. It's his ancestor, yeah. So I'd love to get that. And have a look round and see what's what. So I've been on now for 51 minutes and 47 seconds. What I'll do is I'll have a look at the chat messages and I'll reply back. I'm so sorry to everyone who's been writing. I really do apologise. I look down and it goes away, and I'm too busy looking round to see what's what. So yeah, I hope you like this live. We started off on the market, didn't we, just looking at them little plaques on the floor, and now it's developed into this. Should we have a quick look round here and then I'll go back to the car? I want to show you these old signs. I wonder how far I've walked. Yeah, I've been in all day today. Someone asked me before what I do for a living. I'm a skills coach. So what I do is I take people through a training course to MVQ qualification. Fairly new to it. But yeah, it's professional stuff. So like, I don't know, if you're an operations manager and you want to get an MVQ in operational management, then you'll undergo a training course, which you'll do while you're in work. You'll gather your evidence to show that you're competent in a certain level of skill set, and then that gets submitted to, you've got a tutor who helps you put it all together. That's me. And then you submit it to, I'm going past these bleeding signs and I wanted to show you. Yeah, you submit it then to the examining body, and then obviously you get the qualification thereafter. That's what I do. People were asking before what I do. And that's it. And I absolutely love my job. I work from home and I work for the most amazing boss you could ever imagine. Honestly, it's wonderful. And my manager, she's unbelievably wonderful. And the people that I work with, look at that 1960s sign there. Florian House. Yeah, the people that I work with are it's just nice. It's just a wonderful company. So lucky to have the job. Honestly, I absolutely adore it, and it's the best job ever. And it's meant that not only am I really happy at work, I'm also able to move in a slightly different direction, because I was in recruitment before that, and then I was a car sales manager, general manager before that. In fact, I used to work at Nissan Oldham for a long time. I was the sales manager, started off selling there, and then became the sales manager. And then I left Oldham, went and worked at Rochdale for a while. And then I left there, and then I went working for I was a general manager of look at you. Oh, you nasty. Yeah, I was a general manager, so in charge of the whole operation of a 300 unit car supermarket, and I did that for about 8 months. I earned a ridiculous amount of money, but I was burnt out at the end of it. Anyway, I don't know why I'm giving me career history. That's what people were asking about, and I'm just telling you. So, that tree's a beauty. Look at that. He was a friendly little cat, weren't he? So we're just coming up Doncaster Walk now. I'm going to tell you one more story, and then I'm definitely going home because I need some water. And I think I'm going to get some cold beers, you know. Where can I get some? If you messages now, if you know where I can go, where I can buy some really cold beer in Oldham, just tell me now, because once I get in the car, I'm going there getting some. But I want the really cold stuff. If you go to Asda, it's warm, because they have them open fridges. I want cold. If no one suggests anything, I'm just going to go to my local shop. Right, Doncaster Walk is this on St Mary's. These houses have been here, well, since before I was born. I was born in 75. Like, you can work out how old I am, but now my mum, when she was one of six, my mum. So there were 6 daughters. My family are the Ravies. I don't know if anyone knows the Ravies or remembers the Ravies, but my family are the Ravies, and my mother is Susan. And basically, they used to live in one of these houses. Now, my mum had this friend called Vivian. I won't give her last name, because that's not fair. I could do, but I don't think it'd matter. But she had a friend called Vivian anyway. And she lived not too far away from here. And this particular night, my grandma and granddad were away on holiday, and my mum's oldest sister was out. I don't know where she were. My mum were about 15 at the time, and it was the 70s. You could do stuff like that back then. Anyway, my mum had been to Vivian's, and she came home. And this house, it was full of activity. MJ's on Thorpe in Royton. Right, I'm going to have a look at that. You wouldn't have postcode, would you? Right, so... Well, yeah, anyway, she'd been to Vivian's, so she'd come home. And the house, there's all sorts of stuff had been going on in the house for a long time. And they watched Simmy Jig. I woke up. Yeah, this particular night, she'd been out, she'd come back, and they had this dog called Robbie. It was a poodle. It used to have a funny smell about it. It was a lovely dog, but it always had this smell. I don't know what it were. It weren't an horrible smell, but I associate that smell with the poodle, and I've always smelt it a few. It's like tobacco. I don't know why, I just smelt the tobacco. Anyway, they lived in the house from brand new, but bearing in mind that the houses were built on the back of old terraced houses. And this particular night, my mum came in, and she walked in through the door, and she went straight away. There was this sense of dread in the house. She went, it was awful. She went, the dog wasn't anywhere to be seen, and then all of a sudden in the front room, you know the old record player where you used to like have a thing, it'd drop on, and you could do it automatically. Well, she said, all of a sudden I heard the record go on, I heard it drop, and I heard it go on, and it was That Someday We'll Be Together by Diana Ross. Richmond, I can't see, it's gone away. I'll have a look in my notes when I finish the live, it'll be there. Thank you for that recommendation, I'll definitely be doing that. Yeah, so anyway, she walked in, that song went on, she said, I shit myself. Straight away I was terrified, and there was like static in the air, and then the stairs in this house, they sort of go up, turn on the left, and then go up again, so they up on the, you know what I mean, they spin round and go up another level. And the dog was at the top of the stairs, and she said, I don't know what it was, sir. She went, but I just had to get out of that house. She went, but I couldn't leave the dog. She went, the hair was dead thick, and it was just, all hair were going up on, on her arms and that, goose pimples. And this record was playing. And she was shouting at the dog, going, Robbie, come on. And it wouldn't move, it was just lay there like shivering. So yeah, she said she had to, oh, thank you, everybody. She said she had to run upstairs dead fast, right? Can you imagine? It was absolutely terrified me. She said she ran upstairs, grabbed the dog, come back downstairs, grabbed his lead, didn't even bother putting the lead on him, just ran outside the house. But she said, as she were leaving the house, she heard this behind her, like someone was stood behind her breathing. Can you frigging imagine? Can you imagine? I would be terrified. So, yeah, and it's one of them houses on Doncaster Walk. I'm not telling you which one, but that's where it happened. But there was all sorts happened in there. People coming upstairs. My mum was sat in the bedroom once, doing her makeup, as you do, and she heard someone go, Susan, behind her. So there you go. There's all sorts going on, but my mum's a bit that way anyway. She picks up on stuff. She hears things in her house is haunted. What she lives in now, and I don't think it's so much the house that's haunted. I think my mum's haunted, because we used to live on Whitstable Close as well in Cheriton, little more mini market. Brilliant, thank you. So I'm going over that way then, aren't I? I'm either going Royton or Littlemore. What was I saying? Yeah, so anyway, we used to have this house. I'll give you a number. It was 22 Whitstable Close, right, in Cheriton. And this was back in the 80s. I was a kid. I left home at 17. I think I was about 15. And I'll never forget. When you're 15, you're out all the time, aren't you? You're not in the house. But I were in the house getting ready. My mum was there on her own. I don't know where my stepdad were. I don't know. But anyway, she was on her own. I think you're probably aware, working or something. Hey, that's cool. Look at that. Have you made them yourself? No. Yeah, so we were sat there in the front room, right, and I swear to God, there was just me and my mum in the house. And upstairs was my mum's bedroom. The cat was downstairs with us. We had a dog, the Basset hound. The Basset was sat on the chair, sat up with its arm on the arm, as it used to do, Penny Basset. Right, and I swear to God, all we heard upstairs were boof, boof, boof on the ceiling. And when we looked up, because obviously we heard the noise, both of us looked up at the same time, and there was the lamp, ceiling lamp, it was all swaying. The vibration of what was going on upstairs had actually swayed it. None of us had go upstairs, but there weren't anyone else in the house. We know that for a fact. So all I'm saying is, I think it's my mum that's haunted and not. Wonder where that fella's. Have you seen it? It was like one wheel. Anyway, right, I don't know why. You know what? It's because I'm tired and I want a beer and I've just been waffling. So I'm going to call it a day at that. And thank you so much for letting me bore you to death for all of this time. And yeah, stay tuned. What was I going to say? Yeah, I've got a video coming up at St Margaret's Church. I'm going to be doing that in Hollingwood. That's a brilliant church. That loads of history. They don't really get a lot of views with church videos, and I get it. Some people don't like it. You know what I mean? But it's all about history and there's history of people attached to it and stuff like that. Anyway, watch it if you want, if you don't. But so I'm going to be doing that one. Like I say, I'm going to get into Oldham Church. That would be a brilliant one, that. And what else were I going to do? Can't think. I've got a big massive list at home of all sorts of stuff. For Steam. Great. Oh, thanks, love. I'm knackered and I'm waffling. I'm going to go and get in my car. I'm going to go and get some beer and I'm going to pour a nice pint when I get in, and I'm going to put my feet up and watch some YouTube. So thank you all for watching. I hope that you've enjoyed it, and I'll read back through my comments and I'll comment on them. Thank you so much for being here with me watching. Like I said, just stick with me on channel for a bit with them adverts. I am going to get rid of them. Just let me get to 50 quid. Let me cash in, and then I'll get them turned off and I'll never put them on. All right. Thanks very much. See you soon. Bye, everyone.